Senator De Lima is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I just also express my lamentation. It's lamentable that this is again being made an issue about questioning the motivation of a member of the Senate in first filing a particular resolution and subsequently withdrawing it. May I state for the record the reasons why this representation felt it necessary and appropriate to withdraw resolution originally PS resolution number 258 is because my attention was called to the prior filing of this resolution of the Honorable Senator Frank Trillanes, resolution number 256. And when I went over it, I realized that this is broader in scope, because it seeks to further inquire into all the structural deficiencies that may be attributed as a cause for some acts of corruption within the Bureau of Immigration. Yes, while it was the original intent of the author of the original PS Res number 258 to go into the alleged acts of corruption involving 2 BI commissioners, and even with respect to the Secretary of Justice himself, who admitted that there was also an offer to bribe him by Mr. Jack Lam. But when I saw this resolution of Senator Frank Trillanes, I realized that this is the best way to go about it, because it is, again, broader in scope. So in the interest of focus, in the interest of efficiency in looking into the matter, I decided to withdraw. And that is the very prerogative of any member of the Senate. So imputation of some kind of a bad faith or ill motive is definitely very offensive on the part of this representation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator De Lima. Senator Trillanes, recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe we have several items on the agenda today, and I believe we also exhausted or squeezed all the juice out of this particular issue. So at some point we need to resolve it, because the status now is the resolution has been referred to the Civil Service Committee. Now, I believe the issue at hand is there is an overlapping of function, just as mentioned by the Senate President. Most of the committees have that. But we should give a premium of some sort to the author. If he prefers that the resolution that he authored be handled by a particular committee that he prefers, then we should respect that. I believe just out of sense of propriety, kung ayaw sa committee mo, bakit pinagpipilitan mo yung sarili mo? Di ba? I believe, hindi naman siguro ganon. Pero, while the gentleman from Zambales keeps on saying that he doesn't want to cast aspersions on his colleagues, I believe that's exactly what's happening. He is doubting, in this case, is it my capability to conduct a fair and objective committee hearing on the matter, or he probably feels superior in his world. In his world, he probably feels superior in handling such hearings. But I believe that's the issue at hand. Now, in my case, if he perceives or he doubts the intentions of the author, and the committee chairman, I can also throw that same doubt to the defenders of the faith. How come they are closing ranks to make sure that this resolution doesn't fall into my committee? At any rate, Mr. President, we're waiting for that particular motion so
Yes.
that we can decide on the matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we now resolve the issue?
Yes,
Is that
Mr.
Subiri?
President.
Yes,
Yes, Mr.
last-
President, before
last
any
word,
more
last word, yes.
any more hurtful phrases or statements be made by any side, Mr. President, before I make the proper motion, I'd just like to give an example. This representation, being chairman of the Committee on Trade and Commerce, had jurisdiction of one particular bill, which is the amendments of the Corporate Code. But Senator Drilon had asked me, it was already referred to the committee, but Senator Drilon had asked me if he could hear it and take over, and I gladly, being that he is a seasoned and very experienced lawyer, gave in to him. So that's what I was mentioning lang earlier when I raised this issue, because it's really jurisdiction of committees, which is a, how do you say, may parliamentary courtesy po tayo sa ating mga kasamahan. So, with that, so that we can move forward, it's the first day of session, we have a lot of things to do. May I move, Mr. President, to ask for the reconsideration of the particular resolution and be brought to the Committee on Rules for further discussion and taken up as soon as possible, back to the floor for whatever action may be. I think that's usually the normal, that is the normal course of action if there's a debate between referrals of particular committees. I think that's satisfactory to everybody because we're not objecting, we're just saying that we're going to bring it to the Committee on Rules to discuss further which particular committee really is in charge. I so move, Mr. President.
So there's a motion for us to reconsider the referral of proposed Senate Resolution number 256, which we first made to the Committee on Civil Service, that it be, because of the differing opinions as to the proper committee, it be referred in the meantime for study to the Committee on Rules. Okay. Is there any objection? Senator Trillanes?
Mr. President, I object to the motion of Senator Zubiri.
There is an objection, so following our rules, we have to divide the House. Those, Minority Leader, please.
Yes, what is the status of the referral of this resolution to the committee? Didn't we approve the referral?
Yes, now.
already to
Yes,
the
now.
committee
Yes.
on- So the first that should be debated on or voted upon should be the objection, if at all,
There's a motion.
to reconsider.
Yes.
Okay, so the first vote should be to reconsider first.
Yes, no.
The referral to the committee.
Right.
So we are not voting on to whether it should be referred again to the Rules Committee.
Majority Leader, should we
Precisely, Mr. President.
resolve it in one go or
Let me,
in two
let
steps?
me clarify the motion. The motion is to reconsider the referral of PS Resolution 256. That is the motion. To reconsider the referral. That is the motion. The intent to refer it to the Committee on Rules would be an automatic happening when something like this comes up. But we can consider that motion later. But we have to resolve
So we
first
will
the
divide-
motion
Okay.
to reconsider the referral to the Committee on Civil Service. Yun muna. And then because there is an objection. Are we,
Is there, if there's,
do you concur? Yeah.
May we ask for suspension so that we can approach the committee? Can I ask for 1 minute suspension, Mr. President?
any
so that we can-
objection? Hearing none, session is suspended. Tama, ganun na lang.
Step by step, bali. 2 steps. 2 steps. 2 steps.